Update 3 on Hurricane Ingrid, currently located in the Gulf of Mexico with winds of 75 miles per hour and a pressure of 990 millibars. That's down from 85 miles per hour, but still a Category 1 hurricane and remains a real threat to the coast of Mexico. Current position is 22.6 degrees north, 96.1 degrees west, moving towards the west-northwest slowly at this time, and its slow movement will probably mean that some heavy rains will cause flooding, especially in that landfall area, as the case may be, in the next 24 hours or so. Hurricane warning is currently in effect for Cabo Rojo to La Pesca in Mexico. Hurricane watch is in effect for La Pesca to Bahia Algodones in Mexico. Tropical storm warnings in effect for La Pesca to Rio San Fernando and from Cabo Rojo to Tuxpan in Mexico as well. So we'll probably be seeing some inclement conditions, tropical storm conditions, hurricane conditions indeed for that region over the next few days, over the next 2 days or so. So probability percentages of tropical storm conditions in the next 96 hours, around 90% with the storms expected to make landfall, 50% on either side. Probabilities of hurricane conditions fairly likely as well, especially in the next 12 to 24 hours. When the storm moves ashore, it may weaken fairly quickly, and we probably won't see hurricane conditions very long after it makes landfall. So the sea surface temperatures right now where the storm is located, still fairly warm, 29 degrees or so. Not too much of a cool down just yet, considering that the storm's been over that region for quite a while. So certainly favourable for any further development should that occur. This is the intensity models, what they're saying right now. You can see 1 or 2 predicting just a little bit more of a spike in intensity just one more time before making landfall in Mexico in the next 24 hours. But generally it will be a minimum, probably moderate Category 1 hurricane when it makes landfall. You can see with the track models here, you can see with the general landfall location around the Tampico area, probably in Mexico, the Veracruz region, and then moving inland and eventually dissipating. The shear comparisons, you can see here the wind shear over the next few days is likely to drop from where it is at the moment, 25 knots or so, which is fairly moderate, maybe even high, but weakening over the next few days, which will allow possible further development just before landfall. Sea surface temperatures also remaining warm as well, so basically the more amount of time that the storm remains over sea, the more chance it has of possibly strengthening further before making landfall. But we really shouldn't be seeing a Category 2 storm out of this, probably a minimum, maybe a moderate Category 1 storm at landfall. Relative humidity comparisons as well there, remaining high throughout the entire forecast period. So this is the latest satellite imagery. You can see the past few hours on the floater imagery, a little bit weak on the left hand side, on the western side of the storm, but towards the east that's where the worst of the weather is at the moment in relation to the storm. The centre of the storm is just where that, it's hard to explain really, just where that big blob was at the very start of that loop there, towards the left hand side of that, and the storm's likely to move towards the west-northwest fairly slowly towards the Mexican coastline. But you can see here at the moment not too much in terms of heavy rainfall over land right now, but that may change fairly quickly as time goes on. We could be seeing some flooding. You can also see the outflow bands of Tropical Storm Manuel as well towards the bottom left of that image, as that one's moving ashore Mexico on the other side of the Mexican landmass as well. This is the world tropics right now as of September the 15th at 7 PM UTC. You can see Tropical Storm Manuel just shy of hurricane status but beginning to weaken now. Ingrid, of course, the hurricane, 75 miles per hour, down from 85. What the remnants of Humberto, which are likely to regenerate over the next few hours, and also the systems in the Pacific as well, the Western Pacific right now. Manyi likely to make landfall in Japan very soon. This is the Atlantic Ocean right now, and you can see both those systems there, what's left of Humberto, which is likely to regenerate, and of course Ingrid right now taking up a sizable chunk of the southern Gulf of Mexico there. So it is our 9th tropical storm, the 2nd hurricane of the 2013 hurricane season, the 81st busiest season on record, which really isn't saying much just yet. No major hurricanes so far, obviously, but that may change as time goes on. It's not too late for that to change just yet. We've just passed the peak of the hurricane season, at least climatologically speaking, so generally you'll be seeing a little bit of a downward trend from here on in towards the end of the season. But you can track this storm at the website force13.com/stormtracking.html. That's the main page for it. There you're presented with the tracking map, which shows where all the storms are in relation to the map there, and tables at the top and bottom which show their intensities and indeed any warnings that are currently in effect. We have lots of warnings in effect right now, so you might want to stay up to date on the website in between these videos to see the progress of each different storm out there. You can also find us elsewhere on the web, Facebook and Twitter. Just search Force 13. You should find us fairly easily enough, and please do show your support as always by doing the usual means of engagements. It's a very busy time of year at the moment, so I'm trying to get all the videos out as much as possible, but that is not always easy, let's say, being a one-man crew and all of that. But the next update on this storm, at least Ingrid, will probably arrive later tonight if necessary, but if not, probably tomorrow during the day around the same time as today, as a matter of fact, on Monday the 16th of September. That will probably be around the time it makes landfall too, so don't miss that one. That'll be coming up tomorrow at around 1 PM UTC, I'd say. But until then, that's all for now.